Tell me about what's going on today.
Sure. So we're pro-life. So we believe that all human life has value and deserves legal protection. So we believe in equal rights. So not just some human beings should have rights, but all human beings should have rights.
All right.
Including the baby in the womb.
Okay.
So that's our view. And abortion kills over 1 million human beings in the United States every year. So to put that in perspective...
And abortion is legal?
Abortion is legal through prior to viability. It's legal.
Yes.
Right. Correct. And so we think that's incorrect. It should not be legal.
Do you think that's incorrect?
Yes.
It's incorrect that it's legal?
Right. Because it's killing.
No. I mean, it is correct that it's legal, right?
It's legal, but it shouldn't be legal.
But it shouldn't be legal.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I mean, we have remedies in this country for that sort of thing. If you feel that it's not legal,
right,
you can petition the government.
Right. So the issue is Roe v. Wade was passed in 1973.
Yes.
Conservative legal scholars and many liberal legal scholars say that was poorly judged. Now the liberal legal scholars still agree, still want abortion to occur.
From 73 onward,
right.
Even though there's been disagreement, Roe v. Wade has not been overturned.
Correct.
And there have been many...
It's been altered slightly, but pretty much that's about it. Pretty much it's the same.
Many challenges.
Correct. Right.
I see.
Right. And it's an incorrect ruling. So
it's an incorrect. No. Hold on though.
Yeah.
The courts don't feel that it's an incorrect ruling, and it's been challenged and it's been defended many times. It has been, as you say, altered.
Yeah.
Because that is our legal course of justice here.
Right. So for many years, women, for example, didn't have the right to vote. That was also wrong. And the courts were okay with that for a long time, and then finally they kind of caught up and realized, you know what, that's not quite right. So we had the same problem with civil rights. So we the people in the Constitution sounds good, but we the people represented white males that own land. Okay, now over time we've come to realize, you know what, we the people involves all human beings, except we haven't done that with human beings in the womb prior to viability. And so we need that to continue further.
I'm not sure of your legal definitions here, so I'm just going on what I know today to be legal.
Correct.
Okay, and I know the vaguely the history of challenges to Roe v. Wade throughout the years since 1973, as you had said, and I'm looking at my calendar here, and it's 2014.
41 years, right? Exactly. So
41 years.
Right. Yeah. So
and many.
Right. Well, and throughout most of our history, civil rights hadn't occurred yet through the courts, but finally it did, and that was a much longer period of time than 41 years. So that the court makes a ruling in one situation doesn't mean it has to stay that way. And we have a precedent for overturning precedent.
I understand that. Well,
right.
What's your purpose here today, however?
Oh well. There's a lot of misinformation. So a lot of people.
Okay, and to remedy this misinformation, you're standing on a street corner exhibiting pictures of human remains.
Well, we're showing evidence. Correct. Evidence in the court of public opinion. So
evidence in the court of public opinion. So are you abandoning the court of law then? I mean, you're going to the court of public opinion?
To advocate for a cause, historically, it's normal and customary to go to the people on the street. So, for example,
I understand advocation.
Yeah. So child labor. What did they do? They showed pictures of the victim. Civil rights. What did they do? They showed, hey, there are real human beings being victimized by a lack of civil rights being recognized through the law. And so what we're doing is we're showing there are human beings who have human rights and their rights aren't being recognized. So in the second trimester, for example,
now on this particular street corner?
Oh, it's a high traffic location. Well, we go around the Chicagoland area and go to high traffic locations and present the evidence for people. And people are going to decide however they're going to decide. Our experience has been when people see the pictures, if they're angry, they're not going to be open to reason or thinking things through differently than what they're used to.
You feel that,
if people are
not open to reason if they disagree with you?
No, people who are angry, in general, regardless of this, usually aren't open to new evidence or changing their mind. But people who are open-minded and who are willing to look at it...
You're reaching out to people who are angry with exploited pictures.
Well, we're reaching out to people who are willing to look at the pictures and see them and see the evidence for what they see.
And you're inflaming those who are angry by showing these pictures.
Well, the people who are angry aren't really our audience because they're probably not going to change their mind. But there are people who will change their mind. For example,
and you said they're not open to reason.
Most people aren't open to reason when they're mad.
Most people aren't open to reason when they're mad.
I think that's a generally true statement. So,
yeah.
But so for example,
all right.
I used to be pro-choice. I didn't want to have to raise a kid if I got a girl pregnant.
I'm not interested in labels.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying I used to be for abortion being legal, and then my friend had an argument with a friend of his about abortion, and so I asked him, well, why are you against abortion? Why would you be against abortion?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, it kills a baby. And I had never thought of it in those terms before. I had never heard that before. I never thought of it in those terms before. So after I sat back and I reasoned it through and I looked up the science behind it, human life does begin in the womb. It doesn't begin in the birth canal. So there is a human being there, and they are killed by abortion. They were alive at one point, now they're dead. So this is killing a human being. Ordinarily in the law, you require a legal justification before you can use lethal force against a human being, and abortion is the only case that I'm aware of where no justification is required under the law. And that is a precedent that I don't think is very good.
You're talking about a human being.
Yeah.
By definition of the courts, are these fetuses human beings? I don't think so. Otherwise,
yes
it
and no.
would be murder.
Yes and no. Yeah, yes and no. Let me answer that. So in Roe v. Wade, they didn't answer that question. But
you contend they haven't answered that question.
No.
In 43 years, they haven't answered that question.
No, I don't contend that. In Roe v. Wade, they didn't. There have been subsequent laws that have been passed so that if somebody attacks a pregnant woman and kills her baby, in many states, that person is charged with the equivalent of murder. So, for example, there's a federal statute called the Unborn Child Victims of Violence Act, something to that effect.
Okay, and why is this not remedy for Roe v. Wade?
Because they don't want to overturn the precedent.
Because they don't want to overturn. Is that your legal opinion on that? I mean, is that
to the best? I'm not an attorney, but to the best of my understanding, as I've studied it.
But you're talking about legal things.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean to press you as an attorney.
Right. Yeah. No.
But I mean, we're talking in general terms here.
Absolutely.
Everybody understands.
To the best of my knowledge, they just have not wanted to overturn.
I don't mean to talk over you. I'm just trying to make my point in a prescient manner.
Right. Stare decisis is important. That means they don't want to overturn precedent, basically, the Supreme Court. It's an important thing, but sometimes it needs to be put aside. So some of the justices would like to put it aside, other ones don't. And this is a highly contested topic, but the idea that there's a human being in the womb is not really even a question in the scientific community. For example, if you go on just any pregnancy website, WebMD, any of those, and you look up fetal development, they're going to refer to the unborn as the woman's baby. Now, that's not just by chance, because they're not an organ. They're a human being growing and developing inside the mother.
Is that another legal term, the unborn?
Well, it's used in the Unborn Victims of Violence Act, so I guess it's a legal term. But
I mean, that's a title. I mean, that's
right. So the embryo, the fetus, those are stages of development of the unborn scientifically, and so we're living humans even before we're born. The idea that we become humans after we're born is incorrect.
In pursuing a long discourse on the legal ramifications here.
Right.
Could we move along and simply tell me about your organization? I mean, you all seem to be representing someone here.
Yeah, so this is the Pro-Life Action League.
Pro-Life Action League. Tell me about the Pro-Life Action League.
I don't recall the year they were founded, but they've been doing this kind of work for I think 14 years now, or maybe a little bit less time than that. And they do this. They also do things to help women who are pregnant but are having financial or other barriers to keeping their baby, and they work with other organizations to help them overcome those obstacles to keeping their baby. So.
Pardon me, I just want to make my files a little shorter here, so I'm just running on.
No problem.
No, I'm interested in what you have to say, which is why I came out.
Right, absolutely. So, a lot of people will say it's a woman's right to her body, and so she has the choice to do whatever she wants with what's in her body. Now, I
don't think they should do whatever they want. I mean, I think it's a precedent that we have laws,
right,
and that we've deemed abortion legal on a federal statute and that sort of thing, and that these are medical procedures that are covered by the patient doctor privileges. I mean, I'm not mischaracterizing, am I?
No, that's generally correct. But there is this notion, though, in the other side of the debate, the pro-choice side of the debate. They'll say, "My body, my choice, my uterus, my rights." They have these kind of phrases.
Well, you see, I'm not interested in you speaking for others.
Okay, that's fine.
Please just speak to your position.
That's fair. So our position is that yes, obviously everybody has rights. So we agree the woman has a right to her body. But we believe that the government should balance the rights of the baby and exactly. So the rights of the baby and the rights of the mother should be balanced by the law, not just one side of the subject. So, for example, in the 9th month, abortion is not legal because the government balances the rights of both. And so in our mind, the government should balance the rights of both through all 9 months of pregnancy, not just some humans, but all humans.
Represent what's in your mind to your legislators, and in the course of 43 years, you haven't swayed.
Well, the issue is, if Roe v. Wade were overturned, the people would have the choice as to what the law is, and right now the people do not. And if Roe v. Wade were overturned, there'd be a lot more pro-life laws passed, but we can't pass them
because there are infinite things that could be if.
Right, but so the issue is that the Supreme Court prevents the people from having a choice as to how they're going to govern themselves. That's the problem.
You think that? I'm sorry. Your contention is that the Supreme Court
is preventing people from governing themselves. Governing themselves how they want to on the issue of abortion.
Governing themselves how they want to. And how do you know this is how they want to?
In Illinois, it wouldn't affect it very much, but in other states, they would pass bans. Right. In other states, they would pass bans on abortion earlier in the second trimester or the first trimester.
Well, then I don't understand. We're here in Illinois, so how are you?
We also want to change hearts and minds in Illinois. Also,
changing hearts and minds.
Activism is a long-term process, so it's not over 1 year.
I mean, myself. Okay. So this is how I operate also.
Okay, right. So it's a long-term thing. So
but usually I get behind actions as an activist. I get behind actions that say are supported by pending legislation.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Right.
That sort of thing.
Over the past, I think it's been 3 or 4 years, you can find the statistics. Sure. There have been hundreds of pro-life laws passed at the state level across the country. So in Texas, because of these pro-life laws, they've shut down 20 out of 40 abortion clinics. And they're supposed to shut down, I think, another 15 or 14 or something like that also, as the legislation keeps unfolding.
Well, of course, we're not here in Texas.
Right, exactly.
We're in Illinois.
Right. So, but this is just to establish that these other states would pass more laws if they were given the right to do so, and the Supreme Court kind of got out of the way of democratic choice.
And you see, you keep coming back to that. I don't understand how you pretend that rights are being abrogated by the Supreme Court. I mean, that seems incredible to me.
So because of the Supreme Court ruling, you could pass a law, I suppose, that would violate the Supreme Court's ruling, but it wouldn't stand. The Supreme Court would knock it down. So we would like to see the Supreme Court overturn Roe v. Wade and let people decide how they want to govern themselves, instead of not letting them do it.
There's an infinite number of things that an infinite number of people would like to see.
Yeah, right. So currently there's over 1 million abortions in the United States every year. So if you compare that to other causes of death, it would be the leading cause of death. So heart attacks, I think, kill like 600,000. That's the leading cause of death when you go on CDC.
I'm not challenging your statistics here, but where do they come from?
You get the same number from pro-choice and pro-life websites. So it's agreed that it's over 1 million.
You're labeling things. I mean, I'm not looking for advocacy groups to tell me, one set of statistics or another. Where do you get these statistics about 1 million, so on and so forth, or whatever your number you're coming up with?
You can get it from Guttmacher, which is it's a pro-choice website. You can get it from abort73.com, which is a pro-life website. The CDC will tell you.
The CDC. Now this again. Yeah. This would be a credible source.
Right. Yeah. So the CDC only reports what's been reported to them. I think they have like 800,000 because they're not all reported in every state. The laws are different. But there's over 800,000 if you look it up on the CDC. So the point is, abortion takes a large number of human lives. And it takes more life than anything else. More than wars, more than gun violence in Chicago.
About human life.
Right.
And the Supreme Court has said that,
that it's legal to kill human beings in the womb. That's what they've said.
Human beings, and do they call them human beings?
In some court decisions they do, other court decisions they don't say.
Some courts they do. No, I'm talking about the Supreme Court. I mean,
Right.
obviously they haven't. Otherwise, it would be murder.
No. In some Supreme Court cases they have. In some Supreme Court cases they don't talk about it.
I don't understand.
So
You're saying that the Supreme Court now is inconsistent?
correct. The law is very inconsistent on this issue. So think about it. If a guy kills a pregnant woman,
But again,
he's charged with double homicide. Hear me out. He's charged with double homicide. Once for the mother, once for the baby.
Is that here in the state of Illinois?
It's at the federal level if it's a federal violation, and I'm not sure if the state of Illinois has it, but I think there's like 30 plus states that have laws like that.
Okay.
So in that case, a person's charged with murder for killing the baby in the womb.
Again, I don't mean to gainsay it.
Right.
I'm just trying to press my case. The prescient matter is, as you bring up these issues.
Right.
Because I don't want you to simply go on and have me accept what you're saying.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Probably the easiest way to prove this is to look up the Unborn Child Victims of Violence Act. However it's put, and you can see it right in there. And it very specifically has terms talking about the child in the womb is a member of the species Homo sapien. It has that exact legal language right in there. And you can go on WebMD and look at their field development area, and it refers to them as a baby. It's common knowledge in the scientific community that the unborn are living humans.
Well, see, I'm not a scientist, nor am I a...
I'm giving you sources, and you'd have to look up to confirm.
I'm simply going on what my layman understanding.
Right. So you'd have to. I'm giving you sources. You'd have to go and confirm that that's what those sources say. But I would encourage people to look at it.
I'm not contesting.
Right.
If those are sources that you think are credible.
Right. Now, in the news cycle, this is interesting. In the news cycle, if someone kills a pregnant woman, CNN and CBS will refer to the unborn as a child that was killed. And that's a human being in the womb. So that's CNN and CBS. I've got news articles where they refer to the unborn as a child.
Well, I don't see us being ruled by the news. So I mean,
I'm giving
I don't see the news writing laws.
Right. So I'm giving evidence from the law, from CNN, CBS, from pregnancy websites, from the science area.
Why media is a
right. So some people view the mainstream news media as credible. So I'm giving you a variety of sites to back up the claim.
They would be here today, wouldn't they?
So I'm giving a variety of ways to prove that the unborn are humans.